Welcome to My Ninja Turtles channel. This is the Ninja Turtles Show, a weekly live stream every Turtle Tuesday. We talk about Ninja Turtles news, toys, cartoons, movies, comics, video games, old turtles, new turtles, whatever the show we want. And today's show is no different. Today we have a lot of things to get to. Today we are talking about Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. Finally came out, finally on Netflix. We're going to talk about Mutant Mayhem, TMNT 2023. We're going to get into a lot of good stuff. We're going to talk about the last Ronin animation. Pretty big news, behind the scenes episode number 2. And also, we are going to talk about a few My Ninja Turtles channel goals I've reached over the past few days, past few weeks. And I'm not talking about subscribers, I'm not talking about views. These are some unique goals I set and some fun goals. So we've got a lot to go over today. So thanks for joining me. How are you? Can you believe it's been a week already? Did you enjoy the Ninja Turtles movie? Did you watch it already? Have you watched it twice? We've got a lot to get to. It's going to be a great show. Before we get started, I want to let you know I upload a video. Do a scripted video every Saturday, in addition to this live stream every Tuesday. And last Saturday, we had a video about the Ninja Turtles Pizza Bar, Casey Jones in Denver, Colorado, a real-life Ninja Turtles restaurant. And this Saturday, we've got a great video coming up about the Ninja Turtles in Nintendo Power Magazine. Getting ready for the Cowabunga collection coming out later this month. So I wanted to preview some of the old games. Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, and Fall of the Foot Clan. It's coming out this Saturday. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to My Ninja Turtles channel, turn on notifications to see whenever I post a video. Share with a friend, and most importantly, send in a chat, leave a comment. I like to hear from you guys. I like to read what's going on. So let's get started. First thing on the agenda today. Let's get right to it. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Finally came out. Did you enjoy it? I enjoyed it. Let me pull this up real fast. Oh, before I do, let me say hey to everybody in the chat. How are you doing, guys? Let me put your chats on screen. Who we have? Let's say hello to everybody. Mr. Turtle, how's it going? Blackbird, Pickle, Lightning Godzilla, welcome back. Lego Gamer, TBR Animations, what's up, guys? How's it going? Well, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie finally came out. 3 long years in the making. And it was good. It was very good. I very much enjoyed it. Can you believe since the last time we spoke, they released that 4-minute teaser? I didn't even watch the teaser before I went in. I wanted to go in fresh. I didn't watch the first 4 minutes of the movie. And I gotta say, I didn't get a notification. I had a reminder set on Netflix. It was a little bit tough to find. I had to kind of search for it. It didn't show up. The TV show was appearing, but I couldn't find the movie. It was a little tricky to find. But I found it, and I watched it. And I'm gonna get into some spoiler territory review here. So if you haven't seen it or you're worried about it, this may be a little warning for you, but we're gonna get into it. The movie was great. They're wearing their black wraps on their arms and legs, and they look awesome. Oh, I'm opening up the wrong pictures here. And it starts off quickly in the future. You get to see Michelangelo, Leo, and a future Casey Jones, a male Casey Jones, not the female Casey Jones that was in most of this show. And Michelangelo and Leo look awesome. And the first thing I noticed on Mikey is he has a peace symbol on his stomach. And usually in the show, you can see here he has that lightning bolt. So he looks a little bit different. He has a future change on his stomach, and he has a peace sign instead of that lightning bolt. I guess he knows peace. Maybe that's a reference to knowing peace or something like that. But he looks great, and all the turtles looked great in the future. And one of the first few things I saw in the future, right off the bat, Todd. The coolest character in Rise of the TMNT, Todd. We have any Todd Squad members in the chat? Any Todd Squad members in the chat here? We all, of course, know Todd. He was a very nice character from Rise of TMNT. his mutant power was just being super nice. He couldn't do karate. So we got to see Todd in the future, and of course Todd is one of the last few people alive. If there was only one warrior left, I would expect it to be Todd. And it was great to see him. Todd's actually the main character at TMNT. It's awesome to see him in there. And they didn't really have a lot of characters in this movie. And speaking of a lot of characters that aren't in the movie anymore, I found a little Easter egg right off the bat in the beginning of the movie. And it's a little bit of a brutal Easter egg. It's a little bit sad, it's a little bit dark. And I wanted to point out a few things. So this is in the future when you can see the Krang have taken over. And in the foreground, you'll notice there's a baseball bat. And of course, we know who had a baseball bat in this show. And unfortunately, if you look over here a little bit to the right, you can see a lifeless arm with brown skin and a yellow coat on. And it's a little bit sad here. You see a little brown hair puff, and I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be April O'Neil laying here with her bat, and it looks like April O'Neil didn't make it, unfortunately. And this is a pretty crazy Easter egg to throw in. This is the dark moment in this show. It's really much darker than anything that ever actually occurred in the show. And that's not it. Let me move your chats out of the way here. You can also see what I think is Big Mama on the left-hand side of the screen. You can see Big Mama's kind of impaled, and when the bomb goes off, you can see her white hair kind of moving in the wind. So these are real dark Easter eggs right off the bat. I thought this was a shocking opening. I thought this was a shocking start to the movie. It's supposed to be Y7, so this is for 7-year-olds, and geez, yeah. Pickle says, oh god, that's violent in the chat, and I agree. It's very dark, and someone actually pointed it out online, and I kind of looked into it a little bit more, and that's what it looks like. It looks like it's Commander April, excuse me. So, R.I.P. Commander April and Big Mama, and long live Todd. Apparently Todd lives. And the animation in this movie looked great. There was a lot of action. The tone was way different than the show. It was high stakes. It was dramatic. It was emotional. It was a really well done movie. And it was an hour and 20 minutes. And it was an hour and 20 minutes, and it was jam-packed full of content. It wasn't it didn't feel like just a stretched out episode. It felt like a real movie. It felt dramatic. It felt like there was stakes. And there was no political stuff. There was no fluff. There was nothing in this movie at all. It was very lean. They got straight to the point. There weren't even a lot of characters in it. It was a big story in a small world. We got to see the Man Bun character, who always almost gets hit by the car, but there weren't a lot of other extra characters in it. We saw the Krang, but we didn't see Baron Draxon. We didn't see Shredder. Other than that Easter egg, we didn't see Big Mama. We didn't see the Foot Recruit. We saw the Foot Brute. I don't think he had a line. But the Krang were menacing. The Krang were terrifying. It was crazy to see them outside of their suit, spinning around, taking care of all the turtles effortlessly. This was wild stuff. And the Krang looked dark, and they were scary. I thought this scene was brutal too, with all the civilians in the background being taken out. This was a dark moment. I don't think anybody really expected this one. And the animation, like I said, looked great. It's very highly detailed. You can see the shadows around the nose. You can see the emotion on the forehead, the wrinkles, the coloring, the lighting, the shadows, the glow everything has. This is really awesome stuff. I gotta say, they did a really great job in this movie. It surprised me, and you get to see Donnie's soft shell, and it looks so gross. Every time they did this, I just thought it was disgusting. And even though we didn't see a lot of the characters in the show, we saw a lot of the turtles in the movie, which was nice. It was focused on the turtles. It was focused on Casey, and it was focused on April and Splinter. Splinter was actually barely in the movie. He only had a few lines, but I thought it was really well done. And I'm not sure what's going to happen to future Casey, if he's just going to stay in the present, if he's just going to join the Turtles, or if he goes back to the future. And I felt Casey's voice actor did a great job. Haley Joel Osment did a wonderful job. I thought he sounded a little bit like 2012 Casey. He had that kind of fun, youthful attitude. He didn't do an impression of the 1990 movie Casey. He didn't do the overly New York-y accent from the 2003 show. And he wasn't a goody two-shoes cop like the 2016 movie. I thought he played it a lot like the 2012 version of Casey Jones, and I thought he did a wonderful job. I was happy to see him in the movie. Let me get your chats back on screen here. Forgot to turn those back on. Like reading your chats while I do this. I thought Casey's light-up eyes were awesome. And I thought overall there was a lot of cool story development. There was a lot of cool story. Very emotional, family-oriented story, like I mentioned. And a lot of heavy moments in this movie. A lot of heavy moments with Leo, a lot of heavy moments with Raph. And April O'Neil was crazy. She didn't have a lot of heavy moments, but she was good in the movie. And I thought Leo learned a lesson about arrogance when he had to fight Raphael and he had to help his brothers out and realize he couldn't do it alone. And it made me sad to see even future Leo was arrogant. And it was really tough to see Raphael and Leo fight. And I thought Raphael as a Krang Raphael was very scary. I thought this was terrifying. He was like a monster, and I thought there was a real chance in the movie that something might happen. He would be damaged permanently. And I don't know what that means for little kids, but it was nice everything was resolved, and there was a lot of emotional moments in this movie. And I thought there was almost too many emotional moments to an extent. Maybe it's just because the movie was delayed for a few years. Maybe it's because the Rise show hasn't been on the air since 2020, and I felt maybe a little bit separated from some of the material. And I thought that some of the emotional moments just didn't hit right. I thought there was too many sacrifice moments. Starting off right in the beginning of the movie, Mikey is sacrificing himself, and then Leo's gonna sacrifice himself, and then Raph is sacrificing himself, and Leo's sacrificing himself again, and then in the future they're sacrificing. It was just a little much, but it was good. I thought maybe I was just a little bit disconnected to it, but it was good. And I thought the finale of season 2 had a lot more emotional moments that connected with me. I like this stuff with Karai and exploring Splinter's past and exploring Splinter's childhood. I thought that was really interesting. But overall, I liked the movie very much. I like this action-adventure tone. I know this show is known for its comedy, but I prefer the action-adventure stuff. I like a little bit more of a story. And I would have to say that the movie is going to do pretty well. It has the hardcore Rise of the TMNT fans that love it. It has the cool anime influence, but I would say the show is probably not coming back. I don't think there's going to be any sort of outcry to have the show get back on the air. And even if they did, I don't know where they would air it. I've seen some behind-the-scenes stuff released on the internet over the past few days from the Rise of the TMNT crew, and the Rise of the TMNT show was planned starting in like 2016 or 2017, and it really they spend a lot of time planning these shows, so I don't think they're gonna they're not going to adjust course at this point to bring back the show. They tried the show, they gave it their all, and people just, it was cool, but it had its smaller fan base, and the toys didn't sell, and people didn't tune into the show. And I know they kind of downgraded it to Nicktoons, but it was still a good show. It was still available. So that was that. It was Rise of the TMNT had a great run. It was a great show. They took a lot of risks. It was unique. It was original. It was fun, and it was daring. The color was bold. The choices they made in the show were bold. And overall, I'm really happy that Rise of the TMNT came out. And I'm really happy that they released this movie finally, and I'm really happy that the movie was great. So that's Rise of the TMNT. That's the movie of 2022, the only full-length Ninja Turtles movie of 2022. We had a great year watching it. Pickle cried a lot watching it. Mr. Turtle liked the chainsaw hockey stick. I thought that was great too. So that's 2022, and now, looking ahead, 2023. Seth Rogen, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is in theaters 1 year from today, when this tweet was made on August 4th, so less than a year. And they changed the name of the movie. It was going to be Ninja Turtles Next Chapter. And they changed the name to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. So a little bit different direction, maybe. They're kind of forming the movie still. They're formulating the angle of the movie, and a new name fit a little bit better than the old name. So the artwork on this mural that they kind of launched the new title with looks great. I thought the logo looks cool. I thought the fonts look cool. And Mutant Mayhem sounds exciting. Some people prefer a more traditional Ninja Turtles where they're the only mutants, but I don't mind if there's a couple couple extra mutants running around. I don't mind Bebop and Rocksteady, Toga and Razor. I don't mind them. And he released the logo here on his Twitter with 4 turtle emojis. And this made me very happy, to say the least. It's crazy that this movie is coming around. This movie is going to be coming out soon, less than a year. So let's post some turtle emojis in the chat. Let's everybody post a turtle emoji. Let's celebrate this new 2023 movie with its new name. Let's all post a turtle emoji. Let's do that. How about that? So, there we go. It's tough to type. I'm typing with one hand. Got my hand on the microphone here. My setup is very rugged. I'm still learning how to do all this live streaming stuff. So, turtles in the chat. Let's type turtle emojis. And the logo looks cool, like I said. It's got the ooze. It has kind of the hand-drawn look. And I guess the movie is going to have a lot of that hand-drawn style. The movie's going to have a little bit of that Into the Spider-Verse hand-drawn, sketchy computer animation. And I think it's really cool. Like I said, Seth Rogen's going to be a producer on this movie. One of the directors on the movie is Jeff Rowe. And the screenplay is going to be by Brendan O'Brien. So they've got a nice, well-established team to an extent on this movie. And I know Seth Rogen said, he mentioned that they're going to be focusing on the teenage aspect. This was the old logo. And I think the new logo is quite a bit better. I like this old logo too, but I like the new one a little bit better. And some of the concept art looks really cool. I think they're going to have this sketched, drawn kind of style. I don't know if they're going to look kind of like a watercolor painting almost or something. But the artwork looks really awesome. It has some of the aspects of the Rise of the TMNT arc, if you ask me. The rich, bold colors, it's saturated, the colors are deep. And in the background you can see there's a mutant whale with like a mutant squid and a mutant octopus on it. It looks like there's the Technodrome. So there's going to be a lot going on in this movie. And it's going to be a big budget Ninja Turtles movie. It's going to be a full theatrical release. It's not going to be straight to streaming. It's not going to be a fan project. It's going to be the real deal, celebrities attached. And I read that the voices for the Turtles are actually going to be voiced by actual teenagers. They're not going to be voiced by adults. It's not going to be like the previous movies or previous shows where adult voice actors. It's going to be actual kids. And this is some of the other concept art that I've seen released, and I really don't know where it came from, but it looks pretty cool. Oh, TBR Animations hopes they give the turtles some more muscle. Mr. Turtle says, yeah, they look like twigs. Yeah, they're scrawny. They're little teenagers. They're almost like preteens. And they look pretty cool. They look pretty tough. They're scrawny, but they're scrappy. They look tough. And in this promotional shot, they've got the glowing eyes. They're running on the rooftops. Traditional Ninja Turtle shot. Glowing green eyes. And they look frightening. They look good. And I'm excited for this movie. Some of the other stuff, they haven't really released a lot about this movie. One of the only other things they released previously is this sheet of notes that has notes like they're written by Leonardo, and they have to do a little bit with what could be going on in the movie or going on in their lives at this point in the story. And you can see he has discipline in the upper left, and honor, loyalty, honor over loyalty. I don't know how that's going to work out. He also has some elements on the chart here, TMNT, spelling out their acronym, of course, and apologize to April. So there's going to be an April in this movie. And I wonder how they're going to relate to April. Maybe they'll start off as teens. Maybe they'll start off as turtles. We don't know. And at the bottom here, he has some notes about mutations. A little bit of a interesting take on mutations here. Deletion, duplication, translocation. And it looked like Leo was wearing braces. That's true. Leo did look like he's wearing braces. Which concept shot was that? I forgot to mention that. Good pointing that out. There you go. Leo's got braces. He is a teen. And the notes look good. Good promo. And I'm excited for this movie. Whatever they're doing so far is working for me, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see how they'll look moving. I agree, TBR. Maybe they'll look more interesting moving. I like the way they look now, but things always look different when they're moving. And of course, they're still tweaking it. They're still doing whatever they want. I know they released, or this concept art got leaked a while back, and some people had to pull it down. I don't know what was the difference. what happened. I don't know why they had to pull it down. I don't know what happened, but it's pretty exciting stuff. So I'm excited. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem 2023. Let's go. Can't wait for it. And another thing that I wanted to pass along, another thing that I thought I couldn't wait for, was episode 2 of Behind the Scenes from The Last Ronin animation. Episode 2 behind the scenes of The Last Ronin animation. This came from Magnus Edlin, of course, Speedo Kagan. Great video, great short film, great fan film. The computer animation was awesome, so seeing the behind the scenes for this has been a real treat. Episode 1 was awesome, and in episode 2, they get into the inspiration for how they came up with the designs and the inspirations for how they came up with the movie, the short film. And they talked about the comic. This is the scene from the comic that they based the animation on. This is it. This is their source material. And they explain why they changed some things around, why they had to do things a certain way, and they talk about their inspirations in the sewer, and they looked at actual pictures of real sewers. He took actual pictures of sewers from the internet and looked at them and examined them and saw what made them look like a sewer. If it's the lighting, if it's the texture, if it's the way the room looks, if it's the way the room's designed. They really went in depth on the way this movie was produced, and it was amazing to hear. And originally, they had brick walls in The Last Ronin animation, and they gave a picture of what it would have looked like if there were brick walls, but eventually they decided to change it to concrete walls. And I thought this was such an interesting little detail to point out. I thought this was so fascinating that they went into such minutia, such care about the environment that they were creating. They wanted the wall to be concrete and not brick. They had a preference. It's amazing. Mr. Richard says, off topic, your Nick Fuentes Ninja Turtle video was fun. Thank you, Mr. Richard. Going to be talking about that a little bit later in the video. Going to be talking about that. That was kind of related to something I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So thank you, Mr. Richard. Stay tuned. And they also go through and show how they added elements in the scene in The Last Ronin animation, like the rungs on the wall for the ladder and some of the piping on the wall. And it was really fascinating to see how they decided what to add and how to design it, what to make it look like, how to create the right environment, the right setting, the right tone. And originally they had a room for The Last Ronin, and it was a little bit bigger, but they felt it just looked a little too big. And I thought that was such another cool detail, that they had a preference on the size of the room. Maybe it makes it look a little more intimate. It looks a little more personal when the room is smaller. You feel like you're in the room there with him. You're right up on him. And this was a tough scene, of course, but this Magnus Edlin guy who made the Last Ronin animation, he's a fun guy, and he always has a little bit of fun in these behind the scenes. So he added a picture of the Last Ronin here, smiling, giving a thumbs up, wearing a bow tie. And the Last Ronin animation was literally movie quality. I agree, Mr. Turtle. Wonderful observation, and it was a wonderful fan film. It didn't feel like a fan film. It just felt like a real film. It felt like the real deal. And this is the environment, the two settings, the two rooms, the hallway and then the room. And it's really cool how they designed this room. You can see in 3D like a model, like The Sims or something, like a video game. And they even go into how they designed the wall, how they designed the pipes. They put a little Chet was here Easter egg on the wall, of course. And they even talked about the lighting, the way the textures come about in the lighting and the amount of like fog and dust in the air. And he went over all the different textures that they thought about using, and they showcased all the different textures: wood, brick, concrete, asphalt. And it was so cool to see all the thought and care that went into this fan film. And for 3.5 minutes of fan film, it really shows that all the work they put into it. It really shows all the time and effort and care that they put into it. So hats off to Speedo Kagan and Magnus Edlin and the whole crew. They went over how they created the weapons, the cowabunga crossed out, and the textures of the weapons. And it was so fascinating to see how it all came together. It looks like an early 90s video game here. It looks like a PlayStation 1 retro video game. And he even mentioned that it looked like an original Tomb Raider with the polygon kind of shapes. Like I said, the Magnus Edlin guy, he's funny, he's humble, he's extremely talented. He's a really good guy. Seems like a really good guy. And the way he just breaks down how each scene came about, how each portion of the fan film came about, was so fascinating. So fascinating to show how the basic forms and the basic animations all get put together into the final product. And they have this starting picture where it's just the basic turtle form. It's just the basic turtle shape and form. There's no texture really. And then he showed how they add in the texture, the skin, the bandana, the background, the bricks and stuff. And then finally they add in all the lighting, and it really shows how professional these guys are and shows how talented they are. They can manipulate every single thing from the lighting to the texture, and I just thought it was so amazing to show the step-by-step of how the sausage gets made. And the Magnus Edlund crew, hats off to everybody, the people that did the audio, the animating, everything. This is a wonderful production. This is a wonderful team effort. And hats off to you guys again. This is great stuff. And to top it all off, Magnus Edlund, Speedo Kagan crew, the people behind the Last Ronin animation, they put out a bunch of free posters. So how cool is that? They're also generous, and they wanted to spread the word and give us some cool art for your phone or your desktop, whatever you want. It's really high res. So I thought this was just the icing on the cake. How great is that? So hats off again to the Speedo Kagan crew. And while we're talking about Last Ronin, I wanted to switch from the Last Ronin animation to the Last Ronin comic. Now, of course, a few weeks ago, we talked about the oral history of the Last Ronin. This was an article that was published with Inverse, and this was an article that came from Brian Van Hooker. Brian Van Hooker is the host, of course, of Turtle Tracks podcast. Great interview show. He's interviewed everyone. Ciro Nieli, all the voice actors, Townsend Coleman. He's even interviewed Michelle Ivy. So this guy, he's interviewed custom toy makers. This guy's a big Turtles fan. He knows what he's talking about. And he wrote the article, The Oral History of The Last Ronin, the biggest TMNT comic since 1984. And it goes through all the background information. He talks to Ben Bishop, he talks to Tom Waltz, he talks to the Escorza brothers. And they talk about how the Last Ronin comic came about and everything that went into it and the reaction. And recently on his podcast, Turtle Tracks, he is going to be releasing the interviews that led up to the article. So all the article came from a bunch of interviews, and he's going to be releasing the actual interviews, I think, on his podcast. And he released the Kevin Eastman interview. And of course, it is great. We love Kevin Eastman, don't we? We all love Kevin Eastman, one of the co-creators of the TMNT. So it was great to hear directly from Kevin Eastman in his own words about how the Last Ronin came about and their philosophy, their strategy, how the marketing came about, keeping the Ronin a mystery until the end of the first issue. And they know what they're doing. Kevin also talked about him and Peter Laird, the other co-creator of the Ninja Turtles. We love Peter Laird too, of course. Kevin and Peter, the two co-creators of the Ninja Turtles. Wonderful team. And this was them back in the 80s, I think, when they were first making the original toys. And it was neat to hear a little bit of the behind the scenes directly from Kevin and about how the original outline came for the Last Ronin back in the 80s and how Peter Laird felt about it and how Peter Laird gave his blessing, but was still a little bit indifferent. They're not even sure if Peter Laird has read The Last Ronin yet. Peter Laird is retired and he's doing his own thing. And that was one of the best things I heard in the interview with Kevin Eastman. One of the best things I heard was about Peter Laird, and it wasn't about anything that had to do with The Last Ronin. It was personal. Peter Laird is retired and he's happy, and he doesn't really keep up with Turtles anymore. He doesn't read IDW. I don't think he was aware of Rise that much. And Peter Laird recently became a grandpa. So that was I thought that was the best, most fascinating thing in the interview. It wasn't anything to do with Ninja Turtles. It was something personal in Peter Laird's personal life. He became a grandpa, so how cool is that? So hats off to Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman. We love you guys, co-creators of the Ninja Turtles. We salute you. None of this would be possible without you. And Peter Laird, the grandpa. How cool is that? It's like he's a master splinter now. He's the sensei, and he's going to pass on his teachings to his grandkid. So, good for them. Good for Turtle Tracks. Good for Brian Van Hooker. Make sure to subscribe to his podcast and check it out. Make sure to check out the Oral History of the Last Ronin article on Inverse. It's a great article. Brian Van Hooker's a great Ninja Turtles fan, so I just wanted to pass that along. They're doing great stuff over there. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is not really about Ninja Turtle news. It's kind of personal news for my Ninja Turtles channel. And hit a few goals over the past few days. Hit a few goals over the past few weeks. And I wanted to talk about that. And this isn't necessarily a subscriber goal. Subscribers are cool and everything, but I had some unique goals. And recently with the controversial videos, Casey Jones is the original, Kyle Rittenhouse, and the Nick Fuentes Ninja Turtles video, had a lot of controversy recently, had a lot of activity, and these videos have definitely received a mixed reaction, and that's kind of what I was going for. Wanted to stir it up a little bit, wanted to try some new things, wanted to branch out a little bit, and I thought it went really well. And I have people fighting in my comments section. There are people fighting in the My Ninja Turtles channel comments section. How cool is that? That was one of my goals when I first created a YouTube channel. I wanted to make clickbait thumbnails, and I wanted people fighting and arguing in the comments. And a peak form of internet argument occurred in the chat of one of these controversial videos, and I wanted to share the comment with you. And I wanted to share how funny this comment is. And the comment is peak internet fighting in the comments, and it was a goal I had. Someone accused someone else of being a Fed in the My Ninja Turtles channel comments. I thought this was great. People are fighting in my comments, and I just thought that's wonderful. It made me happy. I know it's kind of a goofy thing, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. That was a goal of mine. Wanted to make some clickbait thumbnails and have people fight in my comments. But it's not all fighting. There's some happy stuff going on too. I'm not sure how many of you have seen my video for the Varner Turtle sketchbook. It's about the sketchbook created by the people who drew the original sketches for the original Ninja Turtle toys back in the 80s. And they did a wonderful job on this sketchbook. They did a wonderful job on the toys and the sketches for the toys. And I released this video a while back, and I am proud to say that the two artists that are featured prominently in the book watched the video and left me a comment, Russell Vossler and Howard Chang. They said thanks. I should be thanking them. These two are the artists who drew these sketches for the original Ninja Turtles action figures. Before they molded the figures out of clay or did a prototype, they just did a sketch. The sketches are collected in the Varner Turtle sketchbook. And they watched my videos, they said thanks. So how cool is that? Full circle. They made something I like. Apparently I made something they watched. They don't necessarily like it. I don't want to flatter myself. They probably didn't like it. They were watching for themselves, but that's okay. So that was cool. How cool is that? I finally made it. I have people calling each other Feds in my comments, and I have the creators of the Ninja Turtle sketches for the Ninja Turtle toys. And another thing I wanted to talk about is the stream from last week. Of course, the stream from last week, we talked about Casey Jones' Live Wire fan film, almost 30 minutes long. Great fan film about Casey Jones and April O'Neil. Real fun, loose take, kind of a self-aware take on Casey Jones. Really good. Really enjoyed it. So I was very proud to see that there was a comment on that video from the people that made the Casey Jones Live Wire fan film, Chromatic Phantom. If you haven't checked out this fan film yet, check it out. They said, thanks for checking out Casey Jones Live Wire. We had a ton of fun making it, and we hope fans enjoy the ride. And I gotta tell them, I definitely enjoyed it. I re-listened to my review, and it didn't come out the right way. I re-listened to it, it didn't come out the right way. My review was not a good review. And I mean, I did a bad job at reviewing. The movie was good, but I did a bad job at conveying how I felt about it. And that's one of the things about these shows is they're live. I can't redo them. I tried to give the pros and cons, and it just didn't come out the right way. And I thought they did a great job, and I just wanted to say hats off again to the people of Chromatic Phantom for doing such a wonderful job on Casey Jones Live Wire. Go check it out if you haven't seen it already. It's a wonderful fan film. And I'm still learning. It's one of those things. I'm new to streaming. My show here, the Ninja Turtle show, hasn't even officially launched, so I'm still learning. still getting it together, and that's just one of the things that comes with the turf, I guess. So I was feeling a little down. I wasn't feeling good watching this stream from last week, reviewing last week's stream. I wasn't feeling good, and was just looking through the chat, and I saw you guys kind of just saying bye to each other last week in the chat. I was watching the replay of the chat, and everyone just said bye to each other. You weren't saying bye to me, you were saying bye to each other. Putting a T in the chat for Turtles, of course. And it was nice to see everyone just saying bye, and there's a little bit of a group going on. There's a crew. There's kind of a motley crew of Ninja Turtles fans collecting here, and it made me feel a little bit better about that show. And that's a tough thing about these shows. I enjoy doing them. I don't want them to end, and still new at this. Haven't even officially launched the show yet. Haven't even done an episode 0 kind of thing. So just let me put your chats up on screen here. Just wanted to say thanks to you guys for tuning in. Thanks for leaving the nice chats. Thanks for interacting. T in the chat for you guys. How about that? Let's get a T in the chat for you guys in the chat. I always enjoy reading your comments. I enjoy reading your chats. I'm happy you guys joined me. So T in the chats for you. T's in the chat for you guys. And this is the point in the show where I say goodbye. And my little frown here in the lower left-hand corner is going to turn into a smile. Because even though these shows are live and we can't take them back and things happen one way or another, they're still fun. And we get to talk, we get to share our opinions on the Turtles, we get to express ourselves. And like I said, I don't run ads on these videos. I don't have super chats turned on. I just do these to make Ninja Turtle videos for Ninja Turtle fans. We're just doing this for the Ninja Turtles. We're just doing it to do it. We're doing it to send a message and talk about the Ninja Turtles. So I appreciate seeing these T's in the chat. And like I said, T in the chat to you all. T in the chat for you guys. And I appreciate it. So make sure to tune in this Saturday, a video about Ninja Turtles and Nintendo Power. And also, there is going to be another live stream next Tuesday. So if I don't see you this Saturday for the upload, I'll see you next Tuesday for the live stream. Thanks again for all the nice comments and all the nice chats, and I appreciate it. We will talk to you guys this Saturday and next Tuesday for the live stream. Thanks again. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment and share this video. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more Ninja Turtles videos like this.